And that's a big win. Listen, you have dug yourself officially out of the hole. It was a big hole, Scott, at 0-3.
Big hole.
Big hole, but you filled it in, and now you were able to kind of pull yourself out. And now you're 5-3. How much better do you feel when you were 0-3? How concerned were you?
Yeah, I was going to move in with you, Jeff. But couple thoughts. One is, I mean, two of those losses are one possession games, and I mean, if you win those two, think how you're feeling. So it's not like you're so terrible. I mean, it's so often you win or lose, and there's such a drastic, and it's one possession. I mean, like you're a great team or terrible team in one possession, really? I mean, now you're getting blown out by 20. I got you, but one possession. And that's life in the Big 12. I mean, so much respect for Kansas and Coach Self. And I mean, you look at it in the last 3 years, we're both the two winningest Power 5 programs in the country. We've won the last 2 national championships. 3 years ago, if it wasn't for COVID, I think both of us were set to be number 1 seeds. So, I mean, we've had some great games. And when you ever beat a Kansas team, you got to beat them because Coach Self makes sure they don't beat themselves.
Coach, how you doing, by the way, man? Good to see you.
Man, I'm doing great after that.
It's been a while. So starting off, you know, the Big 12 season like you did, when that 0-3, and you got kind of younger players, maybe that have never been through that, or players that haven't. What was your kind of message in practice the next day, or kind of what did you do to kind of keep everybody focused and on track and, you know, try to keep the energy the right way?
Yeah, that's a great question. So to start with, we're playing more freshmen, more minutes than anyone else in the Big 12. And it seems like I look at every roster and it's 8 seniors and 3 of them are 24, 6 seniors and half of them are 5th year. Noel was at K-State when the school was founded. I mean, like it's like a lot of old dudes. And we're playing Langston, Keontae, and Josh a lot of minutes. And I think when you lose, nobody likes learning through adversity. You always rather learn through wins. But let's face it, if you put your hand by the stove, you don't learn the lesson. When you burn yourself, you're a lot more cautious. And I think after that 0-3 start, everybody really they kept listening to the upperclassmen. The upperclassmen did even more to make sure that everybody was on the same page. The coaches, I think, did a great job in preparing them. But at the end of the day, the players got to buy in, and they really, you know what, they didn't like the feeling. They knew what we had to correct, and they've worked really hard to change it. Doesn't guarantee success, but gives us a much better chance. And thus, we won 5 in a row, and 3 of them on the road, which is really hard to do in the Big 12. And couldn't be more proud of them. And the great thing is I actually get to sleep tonight.
Coach, I got to ask you, right off to this, I got to ask you, your guard play is as good as there is in the country. When you, in dealing with those guys, you only got one ball. When you put the ball in their hand, late game situations, do you give it to one guy? You giving it to who's playing the best? Like, how do you deal with that and manage that with those guys? Because you got 3 guys that I'm sure all 3 want the ball when it matters.
Yeah, that's another great question. And here's what I'll tell you. If you got selfish guys and guys that are about their stats, their numbers, they all want the ball. If you got guys that care about winning and about the team, they're going to know that each and every night's not their night, and it might be someone else's night. And like LJ was cooking in the first half, team got him the ball. Langston got going for a second, team got the ball. Adam got going, like everybody recognizes when people are going. And then at the end of the game, let's face it, everybody's got a couple good defenders, but they got a couple ones that aren't as good. And sometimes it's matchups more than anything else. Because if you got 3 great players, why go against another team's best defender when you can go against someone that's not as good?
Scott, I was there last year when Jonathan Chamwa blew out his knee and pretty much everything. I mean, it was a really bad injury. Tonight, he went through pregame warmups. It was pretty cool to see when they showed it on TV. Is there a chance? Is there a chance he comes back this year? So
first and foremost, whenever you talk about John, there's always a chance because that guy is a living miracle. And I'm just telling you that God's given him an unbelievable athletic body, but a will and a desire that's unmeasurable. I mean, like, that guy, like you talk about, we've all coached hard workers and great workers. I'll give a perfect example. Freddie Gillespie, Division III school, scored 4 points the whole year, walks on at Baylor, ends up all Big 12, ends up playing 20 games in the NBA. He worked really hard to improve. Like, so you have elite workers. We've had some really elite ones. Like John, I mean, that bar is like, I mean, the Sacramento Kings say Davion Mitchell. That's the standard. They want people that work like that. And I mean, John is just, I don't know if I've ever been around a guy, like if he doesn't work out 3 or 4 times a day, it's a bad day. I like John at some point. And then, like, he's a great student. I mean, he takes care, he just doesn't, there's no nonsense. There's no wasted time. And
So you're saying there's a chance. You're saying there's a chance.
Not only is there a chance because it's John, but also with the work that he's put in, it's put him to where, I mean, he's practiced, and in practice, he looks good. And I tell you that the irony is, you know, he's really physical, and he's in practice, and he had a couple of our freshmen like, oh snap, John's in practice.
He's
Their
back.
heads are on swivels now. Where's
He's
John?
back.
This was up, Coach. Also, was there? You're the definition to me of stay down till you come up. Because I remember when I was being recruited, and you just stayed the course. Was there? Do you remember a moment or even a game where you know what you said? You know what? We finally here. This is the time, and we're about to seize this. Was there a moment or kind of situation where you're like, this is what I've been doing, working towards?
Yeah, I think when you've been in a place 20 years, you got so many memories, so many great players. But I can tell you that the first year we made the NCAA tournament, which was 5 years after everything we had gone through, and it was actually, I think it was today, we beat Texas A&M in the longest Big 12 game ever, 5 overtimes. The guys loved it because the only thing left after the game opened was Whataburger, so they got to eat that. So they were happy, you know. Our nutritionist wasn't, but but so my point was like that game helped get us to the tournament, and that really changed everything. Then 2010, you go to the Elite Eight. 28 or 2012, you're in the Elite Eight. You lose to the champs both times, and then the streak that we've been on, 23 wins in a row, 19, 21. I mean, I've been so blessed to be around great coaches. Great players, and I get to enjoy the ride.
Speaking of great coaches, I know you got to be proud of what Jerome Tank's doing up at Kansas State. I mean, coming from your program, being your longtime assistant.
Yeah.
I mean, what does that mean for you with his success?
Well, every one of our assistants, Coach Driscoll went to North Florida and took them to new heights. Coach McCaslin's done phenomenal at Arkansas State, North Texas. Coach Mills is rolling at Oral Roberts. I mean, those guys have done a great job. But Coach Tang was the last one that came in, meaning like he'd been the longest with me, and he came in from the beginning. So, like it's kind of like when you date someone for 19 years versus 5 years or 60 or 7 years, you're just closer to them. And I mean, like, it is so hard. Like, I'm sorry, I hit the thing, but so hard when we played each other, because I knew if we won, how he would feel. I don't know if he felt as bad as obviously I felt, but like, other than that, like literally, I mean, I get so fired up for him. And I mean, I joked at the beginning of the year when he first took the job. I said, we just got to go 1 and 2 in conference. We can figure it out. But I didn't think he would just take number 1 right away like this. You know, I thought it'd take him a couple of years. He's done a phenomenal job.
Hey, Scott, did you ever wonder whether your coaching style of positivity would work at the highest level? Because old school would tell you, they would push back on you and say, like, this is never going to work the way you've done it. But man, it has worked, and Tang is kind of doing it now. And you're seeing more coaches, I think, go that route in the new age of basketball.
Well, I think first of all, you have to, because what happened 30 years ago, you can't do now. I mean, everyone's got a camera. So I mean, can't be laying hands on players no more, you know? And like, so anyway, that's where you love great role models. And I mean, I looked up to Tony Dungy, and I mean, the way he coached, how he did things, Tom Landry with the Cowboys, there are a couple football guys right there, but I know basketball, like, I mean, Coach Roy Williams, Mark Few. I mean, there's a lot of guys that have been really successful, that Tony Bennett,
Brad Stevens.
Brad Stevens. Yeah. So, I mean, so many, a lot more. Yeah.
Hey, how's your
We had a
pickleball
positivity
game?
coach in Milwaukee. We had a positivity coach they hired, and we would meet with him like once every couple of weeks and like have
Really?
like these seminars. And you know, it kind of puts you in that mindset. You know, it takes so much more to get rid of a negative thought than to
Yeah.
fix a positive thought. So like that was something I learned kind of throughout my career as I got older. Because back in the day, you're right, it wasn't much positive. It wasn't much positive output to this. So I like it though, man. It's good. I think it's great. A great philosophy.
Hey, I'm gonna let you out on this one. I was talking to Tyler Hansbrough earlier today, and he said he's all about pickleball right now. I said, what do you in 10 years, what do you want to be doing? He said, I want to be a great pickleball player. I didn't realize there's like 5.0, 4.0. Do you know what are you? What are you on the pickleball scale?
Well, it depends what we're playing for, because I'd be a 3.0 if I needed to be. It's like a handicap in golf. Like, what's on the line, right?
It's convenient.
I got no shame in going low. Like
Is Few really that good, by the way?
Yeah. Few's really good. He plays a lot more than I do. I got a tennis background, so it's easy. But I mean, Few is really, really, really good. And pickleball, I'm just telling you, it's a great sport the older you get, because I mean, you hoop, you tear an ACL, you rupture Achilles. But I mean, pickleball, you can just anyone. It's like a ping pong on steroids. Anyone can play, and it's a great workout. And for all of us that hate cardio, it's a great alternative.
All right. Well, listen, we appreciate you joining us on After Dark as always. Every time you win, you're welcome on here. You know that. And tell your daughter Mackenzie, I hope she's doing well at Baylor, and we'll talk to you soon.